Hi everyone, and thank you for joining us again today for our What's Cooking with DP. And as you can see, we have got a lovely new look and feel about our webinars. And today, as I've said in my invites, we are talking about the Seychelles, and I've got lovely Christine here today with us from Seychelles Tourism. Welcome, Christine.
Hi Shelley, hello everyone. Thank you for joining us.
And Christine brought little Trevor with, so I've got Trevor on my shoulder. He's a genuine turtle from the Seychelles, so he's our little friend today as well. And I thought I will start off just really by talking about the moorings, and then we're going to go over to Christine and we're going to basically interact about products. So the moorings is a really beautiful 5-star product. Sorry, Trevor's falling off my shoulder. Beautiful 5-star product, and it's catamaranging, or for want of a better word, yachting in the Seychelles. And I think the great thing about the moorings, and the reason why I wanted to talk about it, is that from now, with COVID and the types of experiences we're going to have, it's really great that you can actually hire a catamaran with family, friends, and be quite isolated and do your own thing. So I think that's a really great way of traveling. And how it works is you need a skipper if you haven't got a skipper's license. And for the Seychelles, I highly recommend that you actually take it fully skippered. So what we mean by that is that you have a skipper and a chef on board. The reason for that is that you're traveling between islands, so you can't really stop at an island and eat at night. And your chef then is responsible for doing all the meals. And let me tell you, he does 3-course meals at every sitting. There's never a need for more food. It's absolutely incredible. And I think the highlight for me as well was the fact that he fishes during the day and you have fresh fish. So they literally take the fish out the ocean and you have it for dinner or lunch, which is something really, really unique to the Seychelles. The other thing to remember is that you can, if people are interested in fishing, we can hire a catamaran and make sure they go into fishing areas as well. So that's quite a nice little selling point. Then just important facts to remember with the moorings is that because it's a yacht and it's really very upmarket, they don't allow you to wear shoes at all on board. So I highly recommend that you take a pair of slip-slops for when you're just getting off the boat. But as I said, you've got to be barefoot on board. Then also, the other great thing about the moorings is that you're very flexible. So although you follow an itinerary, and I did follow an itinerary, mine was from Mahe to Ledik to Coco Island and then back to Mahe, you actually can stop wherever you want though. So if you find a little port and you find that it's very pretty and maybe the water's calmer there than someone else, the skipper is quite happy to port there for you and you can just stop and go to the local island or stay on board. So I think that's something for me which was really unique. The other important factors are that I would suggest that you take soft bags. And we've got some great pictures here of inside the boats. And you can see they are quite small. There's not a lot of packing space. So I wouldn't suggest that your passengers come with a big fat suitcase because you can't really slide it under the bed or anything. Take a soft bag and you can then just literally pack stuff sort of on the shelves. And of course, remember with the Seychelles, you are wearing a costume or very casual clothes all the time. I mean, you're literally jumping overboard, swimming, and doing those kind of activities. Then there's no Wi-Fi on board, so I would suggest that you get a SIM card in Mahe. And the other thing as well is that the catamaran it's very well sized, but it is quite small from a shower and a toilet point of view. So just be aware of that, that passengers do know that the living area is very big and there's a lot of space, but when it comes to sort of your bathroom and that, it's quite small. Almost similar to, I suppose, a boat or any other kind of smaller, form of boating. Then just to sort of jump back to how I got there from my trip. So I flew on Ethiopian Airlines, which was really great, but your other options are Kenya Airways, and then of course you've got Air Seychelles as well. So there's nice options to get to the Seychelles. And then the moorings can arrange a transfer as well for you. So you can take it out transfer from the airport straight to Mahe, to Eden Bay, and literally then board on your catamaran. So Christine, I'm going to hand over to you a little bit now to talk about Mahe, please, if you don't mind.
Yes, of course. Thank you. So Mahe is our biggest island. It is the gateway to the Seychelles because this is where we have our only international airport. So everybody has to come in through Mahe before going off to the other islands. And Mahe Island itself, it is about 27 kilometers long. So on that first slide, which you have on top there, this is actually a viewpoint from when you're standing on top of Mahe, a place called La Misère, and this is Eden Island. So this is exactly the marina which Shelley is talking about. This is an overlook on the marina where you will be able to board the boat. But yes, so on Mahe, when you drive from the airport and you get to Victoria, our capital, I believe we are the or one of the smallest capital in the world as well. Just for information, in Seychelles, we have about 95,000 people. So very, very small population. So about 10 minutes, 15 minutes drive from the airport, you will come to Victoria, our capital. And the first thing you will see will be the clock tower. So the clock tower is something we've had about 100 years odd, and it was a gift from the Queen of England. So just for some information, Seychelles is an ex-British colony. And before that, the French were the first settlers into the Seychelles. So this is why in Seychelles, we have a very mix of people from Asia, Europe, and Africa, and the language as well. We speak English, we speak French, and we speak Creole, which is our own mother tongue. And all three are taught in school, so everybody speaks all three. You have in the newspaper, you have the 6 p.m. news, which is in French, 7 p.m. in English, and the 8 p.m. news, which is in Creole. So just a little bit of our history, the moment you come into our capital, Victoria. And the other very colorful, vibrant photo you see up there, that's the photo of our market. So that's a must visit during a visit to Seychelles, Mahe, and Victoria. The market, this is where you get at the bottom all the fresh fruits or the fresh vegetable, fresh catch of the day as well. And at the top, you will see restaurants and local souvenirs. But the best thing is, this is where all the local gossips are. Every day, if you want the best gossip on the island, this is definitely the place to be. We've also put a little slide down here, which is the rum factory. We're actually just having a chat before we started. The rum factory was started by two brothers. They are Seychelles South African brothers. So they were born in Seychelles and grew up in South Africa. And then they decided to go back to the Seychelles, and they started this business of the distillery. So this is something that you can actually do on a visit to Seychelles. You can go and visit the distillery. They will show you all around the property. It's got a very interesting history. It used to be a plantation, actually, where the factory is located. And yeah, just a different process of doing the rum. But the best part is the rum tasting, which comes just after. I always say, just don't do it at midday when the sun is at its highest peak, because see, after.
You'll need a nap.
Definitely will. Yeah, but
yeah, and I think that's actually great. You know, from the point of view that it's such a unique city or town with so many different aspects of it. You know, we talk about Seychelles as an island. You know, island resort, but it's great to know that there's a lot of other influences and things to do as well, you know, while you are there. Absolutely. And of course, speaking about rum, to us poor South Africans who don't really have alcohol at the moment, I'm sure everyone's just dying to get this. So what I did then was we stayed on the moorings, the yacht, for the evening, and we left the next morning for Ladique. And I mean, just some highlights of the day, which was very interesting, is we called it the crossing because, you know, the Seychelles is obviously very flat and beautiful from a sea point of view, but I must say it was quite wavy, and we literally sort of sat in the front of the yacht and had to sort of move back because of the waves, you know, sort of coming over all the spray. But really a beautiful experience because we saw flying fish. We saw a lot of different things that you really would not normally experience. And of course, you lie on the deck and you suntan the whole day, which is just, you know, wonderful, wonderful. And when we got to Ladique, we were lucky enough, we were actually sponsored bicycles by Seychelles Tourism, and we were able then to go around the island. So, Christine, do you want to chat a little bit about Ladique and the other offerings that they have?
Yes, of course. Ladique is, we always say Ladique is the island where time stands still. It's during the day, it can get a little busy because you do have a lot of people coming for excursion, but around 4 or 5 p.m. when you have the last boat leave the island, it's a very quiet island. This is why we say time stands still. And you find yourself with just a small population of 2,500 people that lives there. So it is quite a special place to be. And as you can see on the screen, the main mode of transportation is by bicycle. And you do have 1 or 2 ox cart, I believe now, and these are used mostly for weddings. You do have about 1 wedding a day on this island. It's so beautiful. Most people choose to get married on the island there. Or if you're someone like me who's not so good with the bicycle, the truck which you have, the truck which you have is your other option. You don't have any car hire or any option to drive your own transport on the dig. So it's only by bicycle, or you can get a ride on a truck, or you do have about 10, 15 taxis. It's not too crazy busy. You will have more bicycle, of course, on this island. And one of the highlights is this property, which is called Union Estate. Union Estate is a private property, so you do have to pay to get in. It is about 115 Seychelles rupees to get in. And when you walk through, you would see some of the old things that they used to have on this property. So you will have the copra factory. Seychelles was very big on importing copra way back in the day. So they don't do it anymore, but they just still have it there so that you can see where they used to grind the copra, the coconut copra, which became oil in the end. You will have old cemetery, which you will find there. You could do some tortoise feeding. You have this giant land tortoise, as you can see, the lady is trying to feed some of them down here on the photo. And you have a vanilla plantation as well. So not only the Seychelles, but some of the islands of the Indian Ocean, we refer to ourselves as the vanilla islands. Vanilla is something which you could find in most islands of the Indian Ocean. So it's something which you have definitely on the dig. And so for some reason, it tastes better, the vanilla that comes from the dig. So everybody always asks for it. My friends in Europe always says, can you bring me some vanilla from the dig?
Of course.
It's really nice. It's really nice. And just because we were talking about the rum, we actually have a vanilla rum, which is one of the most common as well, most famous rum.
Yeah.
And, it's all to come here to the next slide, which is en source d'argent. En source d'argent is the real postal card of Le Dig. So this is what a lot of people will know. They might not be able to say the name, but they will tell you it's the beach with the big granite boulders. And it is quite an amazing, amazing beach, I have to say. And from Le Dig, of course, we do have the neighboring island of Pralin as well. So if you're on the yacht, you will be able to continue on to Pralin for another day of visit. But if not, you do have you have boats that goes from Le Dig to Pralin, which is 15 minutes every day. And on Pralin, one of the highlight of this island is the UNESCO World Heritage Site, which is called the Vallée de Mai. So it's considered by many as one of the Garden of Eden. And in the Vallée de Mai, you will find the Coco de Mai. As you can see, the little boy is holding it on his shoulder there. The Coco de Mai is one of the world's biggest and heaviest nut. It can weigh up to 25 kilos.
Wow.
So obviously this one we've taken out what's inside. So that's why. And this is something you can buy and bring back as a local souvenir as well. And as you can see from its very distinctive shape, it represents a woman's bum. So it is a female Coco de Mai. So usually what they do when they take out what's inside, it's a very jelly-like substance. And a lot of time this is imported and used in cosmetic products. And they glue the nut back together, and then this is what they sell, and you can keep for life as a souvenir. You even get a certificate to travel back with it, so you don't get any problem at customs. And just on the other side, this is the catkin. The catkin is the male Coco de Mai. And I unfortunately do not have any explanation, because this is nature being all naughty on its own. You can see from its very distinctive shape.
Voila, blush for you.
You have the female and the male. And the male, we do not use it for anything. So after it falls off the tree, or it's cut down, within 3 weeks it dies. So you cannot keep that one. So we also have a beautiful photo of Anse-Lazio. Anse-Lazio is known as one of the world's most famous and most photographed beaches as well. It is voted as one of the most beautiful beaches in the world. So we definitely had to put this photo up for all of you to see and dream a little bit. So hopefully when the borders reopen, everybody can go and visit for themselves. And also in the Vallée de Mai, you have the black parrot. The black parrot is endemic to the island of Pralin and is found in the Vallée de Mai. You don't spot them as easily as you think. So a lot of time it's nice to have a guide with you, and they will know how to whistle the right way to get the black parrots to whistle back and to spot them.
Oh, that's incredible. And unfortunately, I didn't get to Praslin. You know, we didn't stop there. But is it quite easy if you were staying on another resort or not, you know, at another resort to get from island to island, Christine?
Yes, fairly easy. So in Seychelles, the islands are very close to one another, especially the main island. So it will take you about 15 minutes flying, or 1 hour boat crossing, or 15 minutes boat crossing. It just depends on which island. So we're talking about the islands which are within the inner island group. Obviously, with islands where you have to fly, that is the only thing. If you need to fly, you always need to go back to Mahe to take the domestic flight. Otherwise, you can get around easily to all the islands.
Oh no, that's good. And it's, yeah, it's absolutely beautiful. And I mean, it's just amazing how special, you know, Seychelles is, besides the beaches, because the beaches, I've never in my life seen anything so exquisite, and the sea life is, you know, exquisite. So, and then, Christine, just to, I'm going to go on to a little island we went to visit, which was Coco Island, which was really beautiful. And it's not really famous for anything from my part as an island, but something that we did or were able to do was to snorkel a lot. So basically we moored, and you literally took snorkels, goggles, off you went, and we saw a lot of turtles. And I know you mentioned that it's famous for baby turtles as well, which unfortunately I didn't see, but we definitely saw turtles. And I think that's the first experience where I've actually had where you see turtles just flying around, you know, sorry, flying around, did I say that? Swimming around, and they look like they're flying, swimming around, and they're actually quite friendly. You know, even the fish were very friendly. They literally just come up to you, swim right next to you. And of course, the sea life is just spectacular. You know, you can either be sitting on the boat, or you literally go snorkeling. You can go on a little paddle ski, and you do see abundance of sea life, which for me was just incredible. Are there other activities that you want to talk about, you know, just from a point of view of other offerings?
Yes, of course. Apart from what Shelley has been saying, which you can do on board the boat, you obviously have the fishing, diving, say, snorkeling, but you also have a few things which you obviously just want during a holiday to relax and do nothing at all. Just by a golf session. So if you have somebody who is a golf fanatic, we have an amazing 18-hole championship golf course, which is found on the island of Praslin. So this is found at one of the 5-star hotels, which is based on the island. And what really makes this golf course, it's the view. So as you can see from the photo, this is at the top of the golf course. So usually you will just have the planes, the helicopters flying by, and it's such an amazing view. Even from people that has been to other golf courses in the region, they all always amazed by how amazing this view is. So even if you're not staying there at this hotel, you can go and play golf. You just have to make your reservation, and you have to, if you would need to rent the equipment, obviously, and pay for the environmental fee as well. So really, really easy for you. And I know.
And can I ask which hotel that is, Christine? Just so
it's the Constance Lemuria Hotel. I wasn't sure if I could say.
No, I just wanted to check, so we will check and see.
It's the Constance
Lemuria, because, I mean, it's, you know, and it's great that you actually can just go and play golf there. So, you know, even if you were on the moorings, and it's funny, when we had ported back in Mahe, back at Eden Bay, there was another couple getting on a moorings next to us, and they had golf clubs, and we still thought it was quite strange that they had golf clubs with them, but that could be why, you know. So
that could explain.
You then go off and just play golf there, which is great.
That's it. Yeah, good. And I think we're all looking to be very zen and relaxed during our holidays. So a little massage is always nice, a little spa session. And I think that really nice thing with the Seychelles is you don't always go into one of these spa rooms and get all these branded products. You actually get what you have around you. So if today the papaya tree is the one that you're going to get, that's what to get. If you're going to get a coconut scrub, that's what you're going to get. You will feel like a fruit when you leave the table, but you will feel so relaxed. And to have a massage, like you can see the lady there right in the middle of the environment.
Incredible.
This is the most relaxing and amazing thing ever. You're just really in touch with nature. So I think this is one of the things which people would really like, and it was worth putting it up there. And of course, we always think, especially of the more younger people, especially if you have families, if you have the the younger kids that always don't want to do this, don't want to do that. You have activities like zip lining and rock climbing. These are more adventurous activities, but it's so much fun. I'm not a big fan of heights, and I've done this myself 3 or 4 times.
Wow.
So it's definitely recommended, especially for everyone, but for the family as well. Even for the very small kids, they are able to do rock climbing. We have a smaller one just for them. So this actually you find at the other Constance property, which is at the Constance Ephelia Resort, which is on the island of Mahe.
So it does depend which island you're on from an offering point of view.
Exactly.
Yes. And then, Christine, just to talk about diving, as far as I understand, I mean, we never did any diving, we did snorkeling, but as far as I understand, you can arrange diving from any of the hotels, I would imagine. The moorings would definitely be able to organize it if people did want to do diving.
No, definitely. They can organize through the moorings, through the different hotels or operators in Seychelles. And diving is pretty much something that can be done year round. But there are specific season, which is October to March, I believe, because this is when you will have better visibility down to 30 meters under the sea. But otherwise, definitely can be organized pretty much throughout the whole year.
Absolutely. And then just talking about the weather before we go on to other stuff, I mean, is the weather quite consistent? I mean, it was so hot. I went in May. It was absolutely beautiful. We didn't actually have any rain. We were very lucky. I think we had a drizzle one day, but I wouldn't call it rain. And the other thing is that, you know, you really, it's a sun holiday, you know, that's the kind of thing. So is there a season where there is a lot of rain that one must just be aware of? Or?
We do. So in Seychelles, we call it the land of perpetual summer because we don't have a winter. We have summer the whole year from January to December. It's 30 degrees the whole year. That does not change. So high season is from May to September. So the time you went there was entering the windy season. This is why I remember at the beginning you said your crossing was a little bit, it moved quite a bit. So we were in the windy season. So this is when it's winter here in South Africa. This is when we get sort of the wind that goes all the way down to Seychelles. So it's just drier and cooler. But when we say cooler, it's 25 degrees.
Absolutely.
We say it's cold in Seychelles. Yes. So get the socks.
Yeah.
So this is what you will have. So from October to March, October to April even, it's her more warmer, more tropical season, and it's very hot. So I would say around March, April. So it's always around Easter period. It's the hottest months. It can go up to 32 degrees. When I say hot, it's not as hot as places like Dubai for sure, but it can go up from 30 to 32 degrees. It's not the heat as much as it's the humidity. This is what makes it feel hotter, it's the humidity. So I can tell all the ladies here listening, the moment you step off that plane, no matter what time of the day or night it is, your hair will go poof. It's not going to be the same as it was when you left South Africa. For sure not. You will definitely see the change because the humidity will hit you the moment you step off the plane. But the nice thing is we are surrounded by the sea. So we always have a nice cool breeze coming in. So that is always nice. And then you're on a holiday, you're in a yacht, and hopefully you're in the sea most of the time.
Exactly. So well, that's exactly what it's like.
It's
and then, Christine, so now the Seychelles, I believe, is open. They've opened their borders, am I correct? Mm-hmm. So we can obviously travel, but big cruise ships can't go in if I stand correct.
No, so we've actually cancelled the cruise ship season until 2021, I believe, because this is exactly the moment the COVID-19 virus started. This was we were ending the cruise ship season in Seychelles, which usually runs from November to March for us. So March was the time when we had to stop with the cruise ships, unfortunately. But yes, the Seychelles is open. We reopened for commercial flight this past weekend, Saturday the 1st of August. At the moment, there is a list of countries which are allowed to go to this in the Seychelles. So these are low risk or medium risk countries. High risk countries like South Africa, unfortunately, nobody is being accepted to go in. And obviously the airport here in South Africa is closed as well. So hopefully we can all travel back to the Seychelles.
And obviously Yeah, moorings would be the perfect way to do it because you're on a yacht, as I mentioned earlier, you know, with family or friends. So at least you're traveling with people that you know, which is a good way.
That is true. That is exactly true.
And then, Christine, talking about, I mean, we've put there some entry requirements, which is quite interesting. I mean, I don't think we need to go through everything, but what's really nice is that, you know, it's a valid passport. Your permit is on arrival for South Africans, so that wasn't a big deal for us. And there were no vaccinations, which I also think is nice to know.
To mention, the passport needs to be valid from the day you come into the day you leave. You do not need a 6 months validity of passport.
Ah, okay.
Very easy. And the thing as well, this is because I've had this request of people trying to be sneaky. Some people say, well, I have a South African passport, but I have another, like a European passport. So what if I travel to Europe and then go to Seychelles? But it's actually the country of residence. So we will ask you, where have you been residing these last
okay.
So it doesn't matter if you have a European passport. It's
where you live.
It's country of residence, just to be sure.
Interesting. And then currency, it's almost a 1-to-1, if I remember. It wasn't too...
Exactly. I mean, it's pretty much still the same. It's pretty much still the same. So,
you know, as a country, but I think it was expensive because everything is imported. If I, you know,
that's it. So the way I see it, from a European tourist point of view, it wouldn't look as expensive with the exchange rate from the rupee to the euro or pound or dollar. But from a South African money point of view and a way of life here in South Africa, it does look a little bit more pricey when you are in Seychelles. So it's also to do with that. But as you said, everything is imported. So most of the things are. So this is obviously what causes that. But yes, for the rest of the rupee, it's pretty much 1.1. So it's very easy to just think in rand, even if you're in Seychelles. When they say this is 10 rupees, you just say this is 10 rand.
10 rand, yes. And I mean, the nice thing with the moorings is because you had all your meals included, which is 3 meals a day. I mean, I never ever, you know, you didn't really need to worry about food because there was so much food on board. And they include all the drinks as well. So if you want alcohol and drinks, they can do that as well. So you never have to worry about, you know, extra money. Credit cards we've got there, they're widely accepted. ATMs were available in Mahe and the Deacon Province. So obviously your smaller places don't have ATMs. I mean, I would think sort of par for the course.
The 3 main islands would be the ones with the ATM, because the other islands would be island where you have island resort. So you have one hotel, one resort, or islands where you go on excursion and you will not have ATM.
Exactly. And then just are the other interesting facts that you want to cover, or have we sort of covered most things? I mean, it's 2 hours ahead of South Africa. I don't remember anything too sort of difficult from a traveling point of view. It's a very easy country to travel in. It's absolutely beautiful. The sea is just, you know, spectacular. The beaches are spectacular. Christine, is there anything else?
Because I realized we didn't finish talking about the weather, because I didn't tell you when our rainy season is. So that's mid-December to mid-February traditionally. We obviously have to say traditionally because you never know how the weather is going to be. But when we're talking about the rainfall in Seychelles, we're talking about 20-30 minutes of rainfall throughout the day frequently. So just enough to cool you off. But when it rains, it pours. It's a proper down for 20-30 minutes, and then it stops. Sun comes out, you have a rainbow, and you continue with your holiday. It doesn't really affect you. It actually helps you to cool down. And it doesn't mean it rains on the whole, all the islands. It could be raining in the north and not raining in the south, or vice versa. It's just frequently throughout the day, you got little bursts of shots of rain. And I think I've seen somebody ask a question as well here about
let's quickly have a look at that.
Somebody wanted to know about the food in Seychelles. So just like the people, the food is very mixed as well, coming from Europe and Asia mostly. I have to be honest, in Seychelles, we don't have the African culture in terms of we were never ruled by an African country. So this is why when it comes to food, it's more European, Asian based. We eat a lot of rice. Luncheon is mostly rice. For us, stir-fried curries, a lot of fish. We're surrounded by the sea, so eating fish every day is such a blessing. It's something I miss. I miss a lot.
Prawns as well, seafood, just
all the seafood, everything. And we eat quite spicy in Seychelles. We've got the spicy palate.
Yeah.
So we do eat quite spicy. So if you're not a spicy person, don't worry. In the restaurants, they make this less spicy. But if you love spicy, then you're fine.
Absolutely. And I remember also the desserts, we had quite a lot of banana. I think it was a plantain. They call it plantain.
Yes, plantain style,
yeah,
and sugar and milk, coconut milk as well.
Yes.
So that's very much how traditional desserts.
Exactly. Very different, but beautiful, really. And I think what I found, it was quite cooling because it's, you know, it's just such a different type of sweet.
That is it.
Quite coconut and milky in that, which is good.
Yeah, that is.
And then, yeah, so the food also, I mean, just to go on that, from a moorings point of view, you know, your chef would obviously be from the Seychelles, but we did find that they were very good with, if people were allergic to shellfish, as an example, they did cater around that. So no one needs to worry about the fact that you're not going to be able to eat. You know, we do cater according to what people's requirements are. But you're right, there wasn't a lot of meat. I mean, there is meat, but the majority really was fish. And beautiful salads, beautiful fruit, you know, that sort of type of food, you know, which is on board. And I would imagine hotels offer that as well. So Christine, I think we've come to the end. So that's really fun. And I mean, it's just the most beautiful place on earth. I was very spoiled to go there. And I totally endorse you in that. I think it's a place that you've got to go in your lifetime, because, you know, you just can't believe what the sea looks like, and now you can see literally the bottom of the ocean, you know, from that point of view. So thank you so much for your time. It's been an absolute pleasure having you. And I think we've covered all the questions. Yes. And then I'm going to go on to my little cooking show. So I think you need to leave now. You said you've got another appointment. So thanks for your time, Christine. I really appreciate it.
Thank you so much. And I just want to say to everybody, of course, you are able to sell the Seychelles, the moorings and the hotels in the Seychelles through DP. So please don't hesitate. And if there are any questions, I will take them before I go off for my next meeting.
Perfect. Thanks, Christine. Yes, we'll make sure if there are any questions or if anyone needs anything, we'll definitely, you know,
all right, perfect.
Thank you. Really appreciate it. It's been lovely having you with us.
Thank you, everyone. Goodbye. Thank you. Bye.
I'm just going to remove Trevor from my shoulder. So, of course, you know, Seychelles has to be a seafood dish, but, you know, it's COVID and we all kind of poor, so we couldn't do seafood, but I thought I'd do some nice hake today. So what you need, guys, is you definitely need a lovely piece of fresh hake. You need some lovely breadcrumbs and some Cajun spice, very important because the food, as Christine mentioned, is quite spicy. But you know what the heck, I would actually just drive to Woolies and get a nice pack of hake and dirt in the oven, which I think is much easier and much more up my alley. So thank you, everyone, for your time today. I hope you've enjoyed it. And it's just, as I say, the most beautiful destination, and the moorings I can highly recommend. You're probably looking at about 100,000 Rand for 8 people, fully inclusive. So that will be with your food, your drinks, your skipper. So please come through for a quote. It's a wonderful way to travel. And I absolutely think if you want a 5 to 7 day holiday, this is the true way to have a holiday. You do nothing but relax, eat, swim, drink, you know, and then just enjoy the beauty of it. So we will see you all again next week. Thank you for your time. Cheers.